How many FLOE jokes do you think that we could have in one video?
Just depends.
I guess it just depends, is what
You
Jeff
just
said.
gotta go with the flow.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
Board games.
and
Board gamey things.
Exactly, we're back again with another pumped up Kickstarter. We are here today to do another Kickstarter preview, and today's preview is on FLOE, and this is from Pika Games, who very kindly sponsored this video. Now, by the time this video is coming out, I'm sure you have heard and seen a lot of FLOE, but guess what? We're telling you even more about it because that's what we're here to do. So there's a few things to note. Number one, it's currently on Kickstarter. All of the information details are going to be down below. Number two, Nikki on the back, and we all know what that means. She's a prototype, my friends, okay? So as per usual with our preview videos, we are going to do a little overview, and then we're going to jump into a bit of a discussion, and then we are going to say goodbye because that is how the FLOE works.
That's the structure.
That's how the FLOE works. I didn't even do that on purpose. Wowie, wowie. All right, let's jump into the overview, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. FLOE is an adventure strategy game where players embark on heroic quests across an icy landscape. You'll discover long-lost secrets on uncharted icebergs, sail the sea to find adventure and sunken treasure, and delve into perilous caves to find precious crystals and battle fearsome monsters. Despite the dangers ahead, you won't be alone in your travels. Always at your side, your loyal familiar may help gather resources or jump into the fray to turn the tide of battle. From time to time, they will need to return to the village to warm up, improve their homestead, purchase upgrades, and prepare for their next big adventure. Almost everything heroes do outside the safety of the village will cost them more. During their travels, heroes will also gain helpful allies, powerful abilities, and rare items. In time, heroes may also build shrines across the map, ensuring their legacy will be long remembered. Will you be the boldest explorer of them all? And now the game is behind us. You love to see it. The magic has happened. It has flowed itself to the back. This is a game for 1 to 4 players, and this is a big boy, okay? She's a beast on the table, takes up a lot of space. So essentially, everybody takes on the role of a different character. And each character also has a familiar. And the whole mechanism of this game is, or the theme is, obviously you're kind of like in this icy land, and warmth is your kind of primary resource. It's like your currency. So you have a few things that you can do on your turn as the hero. You can do a map movement, or you could do like a village action kind of thing. So on the map, there are a bunch of different tiles that are quite large that you are going to gradually discover as the game goes along. So you're moving from one iceberg through shallow waters to another iceberg, or you're hopping on a boat, you're sailing your butt through that open ocean. Every time you move from an iceberg to another iceberg, so every time you cross over a shallow water, whether it's with yourself or with your boat, you are losing warmth because it is cold on the iceberg. It's cold in the ocean.
Thematically makes sense.
We all know this. So you were doing that, and then when you get to the location that you want to be, you are going to have a few different options that you can do. You can explore, which is taking various tokens from the board. Most of them are going to be giving you different resources. Some may allow you to do a dive action, which once again is going to get you some kind of a benefit. You can also do an encounter. You can also discover a landmark. So as the board kind of like continues to flip over, different landmarks are going to be appearing. Encounters are going to be kind of moving around the board, and they are going to be a variety of different things. It could be a cave encounter, it could be like a land encounter, or it could be a water encounter or sea encounter. And they are going to give you a bunch of different benefits, so you could do lots of those things. So you take your hero action, and then you can choose to use your little familiar, your cute little friend, and then they get to do an action. So you would place them in one of the shallow areas adjacent to you, and then they can explore either the spot that they're on, any adjacent open sea, or any adjacent open land, and once again, primarily gain you more resources so that you can then do things in the village. Now there's a few other things that you can do in the board, primarily the cave action, which we'll kind of talk about maybe separately.
Sure.
The village is another section of the board that you can go to do a variety of things. This is really where you're spending your resources that you have gained. So there are like 5 or 6 village spots, each of which is going to ask you to spend all of one resource type that you have. It might be wood, it might be shroomies, it might be kelp, it might be pearls, etc. Okay, I think those are the 4. And then you're going to spend all of those, and then it's going to let you do an action. Maybe you're going to get an ally. Perhaps you're building a new house, because you could just keep building houses.
You can.
Why not?
Well, you're building out your, like, yeah, I
your
guess
flow.
Yeah, building out your flow. That is true.
Why not? One might be allowing you to gain an item, so there's a bunch of different ones. There's also a space you can go to spend crystals, which are going to allow you to do things like level up. Because everything, not everything, but most of the stuff that you have can also be leveled up, like your familiar, or each character has their own little specialty. Mm-hmm. So last night when we played, I was a wanderer, and what were you? You weren't the cartographer, you went with the other one.
It was like plunderer or something? No.
Yeah.
It's gonna bug me now.
Well, it is what it is. We'll figure it out later. But there's that action. There's a bunch of stuff that you can upgrade. Then there's also one area of the village that is like the healer's area, because if you ever go to sub-zero, which is losing all of your heat, guess what? You froze. And you got to go to the healer to heat yourself back up. Mm-hmm. Okay? So there's a bunch of different villager actions. When you take a villager action, you can once again also get your familiar to do an action, and they take their village actions in your house. So as you build out your little like line of homes, there's little actions that they'll continue to grow on, and the familiar gets to do all of those things. Mm-hmm. That's the village. You could do that. You could do whatever. You could do village, 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 map, village, village, map.
As long as you're moving to a different space.
As long as you're moving. You just got to always be moving, because if you don't move, you're cold.
ABM.
ABM, always be moving. The other thing that I wanted to touch on that is in the map area is the cave. Mm-hmm. So there are caves located throughout the map that you can delve into. Okay, so when you delve into the cave, you are going down and you are fighting different monsters.
You are.
Okay, so there is also a combat functionality in this game.
Dice rolling.
Dice rolling. And one of the upgrades is you get more dice. But essentially, you look at the beast, you look them right in the eyes, and you say, I'm taking you on. Okay, it's going to tell you how much health they have.
And then you go like this through your sick flow.
I would do it, but then I would just totally mess up my hair. My flow is not sick. My flow needs to stay exactly as it is. It don't flow very well. Okay, so you're going to see the monster. It's going to tell you how much health it has. It's going to tell you how much attack it does. It's going to tell you some benefits that you might get. Then you're rolling your dice, and you could always spend warmth to re-roll your dice. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you might not want to do that. Warmth is key. If you run out of warmth, you lose your battle. Okay, and damage is taken through warmth.
Yeah, the battle process is very procedural. It's like this type of damage is going to hit first,
arrows.
Then the monster is going to attack you back for your heat. Then swords are going to hit, and then critical hits will be applied.
And then lanterns, which might allow you to get some loot, and all of these different things. So it is very procedural. If you happen to win, that's great. You get a bunch of benefits. You move along because you are just continuing to delve through this cave until you're flowing through the cave. Good point, Jeff. That's exactly what you're doing. Flowing through the cave until you get to the final battle, which is going to get you some benefits. So that's a whole other section of the board. So with all that being said, there is a lot going on in this game. Nothing that you're doing is overly complicated. It's all straightforward, but there is a huge decision matrix within this. Like, at what point do you go back to the village to heat up? Because another thing, when you go to the village, there's villagers, and any location that you go to that has a villager will give you a heat. If it has 3 villagers, you get 3 warmth. Boom, boom, boom.
Because they're all like...
They're like warming you up like this.
Yeah. That is warm.
Exactly. So, who is this game for? There is definitely one person I know that this is for. If you like cute games, this game is freaking adorable. Look at it. Very, very cute. If you like games where you have a lot that you can do and there is a lot that you need to manage, you really need to manage the warmth system because it runs out a lot faster than you might anticipate. So really, you need to kind of be able to handle a lot of things that are going on. If you are overwhelmed easily, it's probably not going to work well for you, but if you can kind of take a bunch of things in all at once, then I think that it could be good for you. Who is it not for?
This game is not for anyone that doesn't like a very slow burn.
Yes.
This game takes a significant amount of time to build up any sort of engine that is going to allow you to score victory points.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to kind of get into the flow of things. It is a slow burn with a very quick ramp at the end.
Yes.
So you're going to be spending a lot of turns building up your little engine, building up your little tableau area with your house cards, your abode cards, I guess. And it's going to ramp very quickly at the end of that.
Yes.
It's a lot of game with not a lot of points scored, and then boom.
Boom. Exactly.
A lot of points scored, game end.
The game only goes to 6 points. So just to put that in perspective, like 6 is not a large amount of points. And typically throughout the game, you're primarily scoring half points more than you're scoring full points until nearing the mid to end of game. So with that being said, I do think it is a really important point to say that this game, it will be very slow to start, and you're going to feel like you're not going to be able to do everything that you want to do when you want to do it. Yeah,
my next point was going to be if you're looking for a game that's going to allow you to do stuff really quickly and combo really quickly, this is not the game for you. This game can be frustrating to start because it's limited in its ability at the beginning of the game to do a lot of big stuff on your turn. Some turns are going to be very small and minuscule, and it's like, hey, I'm just going to the village, doing this one action, skip to the next person. So if any of that stuff is kind of like a red flag, then might be worth doing some more research. The other thing I'll mention is you need a lot of table space. We have massive table upstairs and this one, and it takes, at 2-player, it takes the entire amount of space.
Long ways.
It is a big board presence, very big board presence. So if you don't have the ability to put something that big on the table, this is not going to be one for you.
Yes, and I do want to say one thing that I think that you should focus on the most and just do not neglect is the warmth, because it really is like your most essential resource, and there is a place in the village that you can go to that is going to allow you to be able to increase the amount of warmth that you can hold. And I think that that is a great strategy, starting there.
Strategically, for anyone that is interested in this game and gets it and wants to play it, I would recommend focusing on increasing your ability to have heat, to store heat.
And don't underestimate the importance of a bubble, okay? Bubbles can let you do many, many things. So there is so much more going on in this game. We didn't touch on everything, but like we said earlier, there has been so much content out. Our friends over at the Brothers Murph have done a full playthrough if you'd like to see how it plays. Lots of other people have covered this game, so our biggest recommendation as always is watch as much content as possible, read the reviews, watch the previews, watch the playthroughs, and make the best decision for you.
Make an informed decision that makes sense for you.
Exactly. But that is a little more about FLOE. Once again, it is on Kickstarter. The campaign will be ending soon, so definitely try and make your decision, I guess, before the campaign ends.
Yeah.
Otherwise, whoops, I guess. But that is everything that we have for today. Now, if you're interested in buying board games, this one initially, just a reminder, Kickstarter, but other board games, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
The Boardroom Game Cafe.
Oh, heck yeah, it is. Do you like snacks?
I do.
Where do people get snacks?
Munch Pack.
Exactly, a Munch Pack. And if you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye!
Later days.
Oh.
Smell like enchilada.
It doesn't smell good. It smells like that grape stuff, but like gross.
What?
It smells like burpy grapes. My panda.
See, that's what we should bring up. We should have this upstairs for our dice.
Yeah, we can do that.
Unless you love having it back there.
No, I don't care. What's happening? Are dice thrown? Oh, you scratched me.
Yeah, I know I did. You're fine.
I'm fine. Sound effect comes after.
I never know what you're gonna do.
I always do bam 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 because that's what the music is.
That's what I mean though. You always like replicate it, but I never know how you're gonna replicate it.
Each of which, not wicks, in a head, because you really need to manage that warmth.
Struggle.
I'm struggling. The words aren't flowing.